You look down at a receipt for an expensive item you never actually needed, or you hear yourself agreeing to a massive favor you desperately wanted to avoid. Your time, your money, or your energy has suddenly vanished. Maybe it happens later, staring at a screen. You feel a sudden wave of exhaustion after sharing an outrage-inducing post, only to realize hours later that the anger you felt was entirely manufactured by a stranger. These are the aftermaths of a very specific type of crime. There is no broken window, no masked thief demanding your wallet. The target is your autonomy, and the extraction happens directly through your own nervous system. Psychological manipulation is a systematic, highly effective playbook. Bad actors run these exact routines in corporate boardrooms, across social media feeds, and across the dinner table. Because the perpetrator leaves no physical fingerprints, they rely on remaining invisible. Stopping them requires you to act like an investigator, profiling their exact tactics, identifying their patterns, and deploying calculated awareness to shut them down. The first perpetrators on our list operate by attacking your internal clock. We can call them the panic inducers. Their primary weapon is fear. They hit you with dire ultimatums, telling you that if you don't act immediately, you will lose everything. The primary goal is to short-circuit the critical thinking centers of your brain and force a pure instinctual reaction. In the commercial world, fear wears the mask of scarcity, countdowns ticking to zero, banners screaming that only 2 items are left. It is artificial urgency designed to trigger a primal fear of missing out. This chart tracks the biological toll of that manufactured panic. As the red line representing artificial urgency spikes upward, your brain's capacity for analytical processing, the blue line, crashes to zero. You lose access to your own logic. The defensive maneuver here is entirely physical. When someone demands an immediate answer, you have to hit the brakes. You must force a pause. Step away, close the browser, or take a full night's sleep to evaluate the actual threat. Time is the ultimate kryptonite for a panic inducer. Without the pressure of artificial urgency, your brain naturally restores its own analytical processing, and the illusion of the emergency dissolves. Our second group of suspects has a far more disorienting motive. The reality distorters want to dismantle your confidence in objective facts. They deploy gaslighting to achieve this. By repeatedly insisting a conversation never happened, or telling you you're imagining things, they systematically erode your trust in your own memory. The intended result is that you become dependent on their version of events. If they cannot erase your memory, they will try to drown it. Information overload is a smokescreen. They dump massive volumes of irrelevant data or cyclical arguments onto you, hoping your brain just exhausts itself and surrenders. When they want to trap you, they strip away the complexity of real life and present a strict, inescapable binary. They insist you either agree with them completely or you are entirely against them. This diagram illustrates psychological cornering. The reality distorter forces you between 2 extreme walls, option A and B. As they close in, you feel trapped. When the walls freeze and you shift focus, the trap fails. A third path stays hidden while focusing on the walls. You defend against the rest of their attacks with organization. Keep written records of important conversations to protect your memory. And when facing a mountain of distracting data, ignore the volume and focus entirely on the single strongest piece of evidence. Reality distortion relies on confusing your internal compass and overwhelming your processing power. Methodical documentation is the clear way to hold the situation accountable to the truth. The third mode is intimate. Emotional hijackers bypass logic by substituting facts with intense feelings. They excel at weaponizing guilt. When you question an unreasonable demand, they pivot the conversation to focus on your character. They list everything they have ever done for you, turning a request into a referendum on your worth as a person. This often begins as love bombing. They flood you with praise, gifts, and constant attention. It feels incredible at first, but that intense affection is designed to lead to saturation, creating a dynamic of control and conditional approval. We see this scaled up by social media algorithms every day. Platforms reward digital emotional hijackers by prioritizing headlines that induce raw outrage or panic. Knowing those intense feelings drive engagement faster than nuanced facts. Your primary defense is the ability to separate the emotion from the information. Before sharing a post or quickly conceding an argument, you must ask yourself if you are acting on objective truth or simply reacting to the chemical rush they provoked in you. The secondary defense requires patience. You neutralize the effect of love bombing by judging behavioral consistency over months and years, rather than the intensity of a first impression. Hijackers depend on your willingness to prioritize their emotional state over your own logic. Neutralizing this requires a shift in perspective, realizing that a firm boundary is not a betrayal, and a no is an objective decision rather than a moral failure. Emotional hijackers use empathy as their primary entry point, meaning strict, healthy boundaries are required to protect your emotional reserves. Our final suspects operate out in the open. The crowd commanders enforce compliance by leaning on scale and perceived status. They exploit social proof, tapping into a primal survival instinct. We look at what the rest of the herd is doing to stay safe. Marketers weaponize this reflex, insisting you must buy in simply because millions of others already have. They also lean heavily on authority. They know we naturally assign trust to people wearing official uniforms, holding impressive titles, or boasting massive followings. This scale shows the exact shift needed. The crowd commanders want you focusing on the crowd's weight on the left, but you strip their power by placing a single piece of verifiable data on the right. Evidence weighs more than popularity. Mass consensus does not automatically equal objective truth. True psychological independence means standing apart and asking if you would still make the same decision if the crowd disappeared. It is important to realize that not every enthusiastic sales pitch is a scam. Not every difficult conversation with a partner is an attempt at gaslighting. But when true manipulation does occur, the method is the same. Every tactic relies on exploiting your instinctual reflexes and forcing a rapid, unthinking reaction. The most effective way to neutralize these tactics is to introduce space. By creating even a few moments of distance between a prompt and your reaction, you regain control over your own decision-making process. You don't need to walk through life with cynical paranoia. A sustainable shield against bad actors is simply maintaining a forensic curiosity about why someone is pressing you to act immediately or feel a certain way. The next time someone demands an immediate answer, tries to make you feel guilty, or points to the crowd behind them, just take a breath, pause, and think. By refusing to react on their timeline, you reclaim the scene and leave the invisible thief empty-handed.